Good afternoon, students. I, Annu, welcome you all to this online class of Maths, chapter number 2, Probability. In this video, we are going to study about the revision of the topic, right? We are just going to revise what we have already covered in the class. Probability is the study of the likelihood of an event happening under a given set of conditions. Probable means that there are chances of occurring of any of the event. For example, we might have heard the statement like, it is likely to rain today. Most probably, India will beat Pakistan in the Cricket World Cup. So all these things, suppose if I am talking of that there are chances of occurring of rain today, that means there are chances that rain may occur or may not occur. So that is a probable condition of that particular thing. So it is a study of the likelihood of an event happening under a given set of conditions. Now let us come to chance. One first important term is chance. Chance, my dear students, again it means that there is a probability of occurring of that particular event. It is a probability or the likelihood of something happening, that is a chance. Now, the next important term is experiment, outcome and an event. Experiment. Let us look for experiment. While I talk of experiment, an action or a process that yield some well-defined outcome is known as experiment. Okay, so any of the process that is giving a particular outcome to me, that is termed as the experiment. Any specific subset of the set of all possible outcome is called an event. So what is an experiment? The process that is going to happen and it is going to give some outcome to us. So experiment is related to outcome, right? So whenever there would be an experiment, there are possible chances of the outcome of that experiment, right? So any specific subset of the set of all possible outcomes. So this outcome, when it forms a specific subset, right, of the values, that is called an event. Now let me share an example. The toss of a coin results in two possible. So the toss of a coin, that is an experiment, right? The toss of a coin. You know that whenever you are going to toss a coin, either it will give a head or it is going to give tail. So what are the head and tail of that tossing of a coin? That is the outcomes, right? So the toss of a coin results in one of the two possible outcomes, that is head and tails. So the toss of a coin is an experiment. It is an experiment. Similarly, if I talk of throwing of a dice, when I throw a dice, I know what are the possible outcomes in that. Throwing of a dice results in either it can be 1 or 2, 3 up to 6. So again, throwing of a dice is again an experiment, right? And what are the outcomes of that? The outcomes of that are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, right? So that means there are chances of these values to occur. So all these are the experiment. Now this was regarding one. Suppose if I am tossing two coins. If I am tossing two coins, that means on the first coin, let us see, and on the second coin also, what can be the outcomes? On the first coin, there can be an head. Same, on the second coin, there can also be an head. On the first coin, again it could be head, but on the second coin, it could be tail. Then here can be tail, head, tail and tail. So what are the total outcomes? There are 4 outcomes of tossing of two coins. Is it clear? Got it, everyone? So outcomes are the result of the experiment or the process of the action, right? Now let us talk of random experiment. What is random experiment? Suppose if I talk of random experiment, what it is? So while I talk of random experiment, it means that If an experiment results in 2 or more outcomes, it is called as random experiment. So if an experiment results in 2 or more, any of the experiment that results in 2 or more outcomes, that is a random experiment. Just now we have discussed the example of tossing of 2 coins, right? Tossing of 2 coins, because I have already told you, my dear students, and that the outcome was head head, head tail, tail head, or tail tail. Right? So that this can be called as a random experiment. Now let us discuss very important, how do we calculate the probability of any of the event. The most important is, and the formula that you need to remember, probability of an event is equals to number of favorite outcomes of that event divided by total number of possible outcomes. Total number of possible outcomes, right? So what does that mean? Suppose, just now I have already told you, if I talk of tossing of a coin. Okay, that is an experiment, right? Now, I am going to ask a question, that what is the probability of getting heads in this tossing of a coin? What is the probability? I need to calculate the probability of getting head when I toss a coin. So I know that when I toss a coin, there are only 2 possible outcomes, that is head and tail. Right? So I want to calculate what are the total outcomes? 1 and 2, right? The total outcomes are 2. And what is the probability of getting head? That is only 1 time. So what is my probability? That is 1 by 2. I hope you have understood. So the probability of any event is equal to number of the favorite outcomes divided by total number of possible outcomes. Is that clear to everyone? Let us take one more example, throwing of a dice, right? You know that when I throw a dice, so what is the formula? What are the possible outcomes? It is 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 6. Right, now if I want to find the probability of getting 5, what is the probability that I should get 5 here? So what are the total outcomes? The total outcomes are 6. And what is the chances that 5 can come? There is only one chance, right? So what is the probability of getting 5? That is 1 by 6. I hope it is clear to you. So this is how we can calculate the probability of any of the outcome or the experiment that has particular outcome. Now, next important thing is that the value of probability can range only from 0 to 1. Right? Not less than 1, not more than 1. The value can go only from 0 to 1. So a probability of 0 means that there is no chance of an event happening, right? That means, for example, if I say that if it's a very cloudy day, I can ask, if I'm asking you that what are the chances of occurring the rain on a sunny day? So you will say, ma'am, there are no chances. So that means the probability is 0. For example, just now we have discussed the case of throwing of a dice. If I ask you what is the probability of getting 7 when you throw a dice, so again you know that the 7 cannot come. So that means probability is 0. And what do you mean by probability 1? It means that the event will happen certainly. So when the probability is 1, it means event is going to happen certainly. Event will happen certainly. Is it clear? So this is very important to be remembered. The value can only range. So that means if you are getting the wrong answers, you will not the value is going to range from 0 to 1. Is it clear to everyone? The probability of an event happening is never negative. Remember that the probability of event happening is never negative. So I think the topic is clear to everyone. Let us take one last example so that you people can remember. Okay, let us take one more example. And after that we are going to end this video. First, for example, a coin is tossed (150) times and head appears 83 times. If one toss is chosen, find the probability of getting tail. Now it is already tossed how many times? 150 times, 83 times head has occurred. So tail is going to be 150 minus 83, that is going to be 67, right? That means the probability of occurring of tail is 67. And what is the probability finally? That means we already know 83 times head has 83 times head has occurred, so tail has occurred. 150 minus 83, that is 67. What is the probability of getting it? It is again favorable outcome divided by total outcome was 150. So that is your answer. So I think my students, you have understood the topic. Please go through the video. If you have any doubt, again you can go through the video and ask the same. Thank you for watching this video.